Hey guys, this segment should be a good test of my new camera's capabilities in low-level lighting conditions. I was hanging out with some friends this afternoon and we went into a garage, and one of the guys mentioned that he had an old TV that I might be interested in, and sure enough, when I saw it I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll take it." It was free after all. Now when I first saw it, it sparked a memory, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was. I thought it was a Predicta 17er portable, but as soon as I got home and looked that up on the web, it didn't match. The 17er has knobs on top, and it looks a bit different overall. So I took some pictures and posted them online, and in the meantime I was taking a look to see if I could find any identifying marks. It's quite dirty, and the only thing I could see is a little logo down here and one on the back that looks like a stylized P. I know the lighting's terrible. I'll bring it inside in a moment. But other than that, yeah, I couldn't really find anything. No model number, no name or anything. Now, they call it a portable, but man, is this thing heavy. Ugh. But it's really thin. But the slimness sure didn't save any on the weight. Gotta be 40 pounds, if not more. It's got a knob on either side. Imagine one is power and volume. Yeah, that's got to be the power volume. The other side's the channel, I imagine. And it's missing some knobs here. Now, the bad thing about this set is that it's got some damage down at the bottom. That's what all that creaking is that we're hearing. So I'm not quite sure what I'll do with this set. But right now I'll bring it inside, clean it up a bit, and let's take a closer look. Okay, here we are with some better lighting up on the workbench. Now we can really see the damage. So a bit of a crack here, but much worse is down here. A whole section of the safety plastic is gone. Not the end of the world, I suppose, but sure doesn't help in terms of the collectible value, that's for sure. So, I noticed there were windows up here, and oh yeah, it's filthy. Clean that off a little bit. When you change the channel, that changes a bit. I'm sure it's backlit. Not the backlighting, it's kind of hard to see, but there are nice big stylized numbers in there. And this side, I'm not sure. It might be volume. Oh yeah, there's a faint needle moving back there. So I changed the volume. It's kind of nifty. This knob is a bit chipped. Of course, we got a bunch of knobs missing altogether on that side. Now, here's the logo that I saw. Oh, I see. The logo is completely missing. It's just some adhesive residue. Huh? Let's check the back. Okay, we've got some built-in antennas. Kind of nasty condition. And here's a logo that sure looks like a P to me, and it's the stylized P I see on my Predicta sets. Going down, there we go, Philco Corporation. Well, I'm going to jump online, post some photos and such, and see if I can figure out what exactly this set is. While waiting for a response to my online inquiries, I cleaned up the set a bit, and I must say that it was probably a really nice looking set when it was new. There's kind of a pearl opalescence to this plastic, and it looks like there should have been some trim up here that was glued on, and that's long since fallen off. Well, it didn't take too long for me to get a response online. And it turns out that this is a Philco Town Country from 1961. And there's a good reason why it looked familiar to me. That's because YouTuber Autobahn5425 did a video on his not too long ago, and he was selling one. His had an open CRT filament. Now, I don't know if he ever sold it. It was a few months ago, but if by some chance he still has his, and my picture tube is good, maybe we can work something out and we can make one good TV again. Now, when I first found out that this was a Philco and it's slimline, I was thinking, hey, maybe it would have some parts that would work in one of my Predicta sets. Well, unfortunately, this has a 19-inch picture tube. All my Predictas are either 17 or 21. In fact, all the Predictas are either 17 or 21. So this 19-inch, 120 deflection degree picture tube is kind of an oddball, at least when it comes to Philcos. So if it is good and I can't find a better cabinet out there, I'm not sure what I'll do with it. I suppose for now I'll just throw it in my storage locker and hang on to it and see what happens over time. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. How about I pop off the back and check that picture tube. First, though, I have to find out what the model number is in the picture tube. Might be marked inside, otherwise I'll have to go online and do some more research. I went around the whole perimeter and took all the screws off, so I think the back is ready to come off now. And there we go. That's curious. Notice right away it's got UHF on it. I wonder if on the tuner you use the outer bit for fine tuning, or not for tuning, for tuning the UHF. These early UHF sets, they wouldn't have a channel clunker for the UHF, they would just have a continuously variable dial, and you would just put UHF on this, and then you would use this to tune around all through like 13 through 83 or whatever the UHF band is. Alright, well, I'll give them credit for maximizing a small space, that's for sure. Ooh, look at that. Oh, looks like the horizontal output tube is completely shot. So we've got some compactrons in here. I didn't realize they had compactrons in 61. I think there might be only one in here, though. The rest look to be more conventional. So this tube might be shot as well. Hey, it's the original Philco tube with the 2.68 volt filament. It's a 19 ABP4 with the aqueduct flaking off badly. Alright, so I'll pull out my trusty old CR70 and let's test this picture tube. I just found out that Autobahn 5425 no longer has the Town & Country set, although he did save some knobs and some other bits. Of course, it's all a moot point if this picture tube is bad, because, as I suspected, these are rather uncommon sets. And even less common is a good 19 ABP4 picture tube. But let's give it a shot. So I got this set for low voltage down to the 2 volt range, because it's supposed to only be 2.68 volts. Let's see what happens. It's filthy, so clean that glass off a little. Oh, there's a yoke in the way and such. I don't know that I could see it glowing even if it was. I'm going to kill this flood lamp so I can see that filament a little better. I think I do detect a glimmer of a glow down in there. Let's see, 2.68, well I'm only down to 1.5, so I think we can go up a little higher on that. Let's get this puppy up to 2.5. We'll have to go up a range. So I'll turn this back down and go up a notch. Just a tad under 2.5. Yeah, it's glowing a lot more brightly now. Huh? So far, so good. That's half the battle right there. Get this up a little over 2.5. Let's see, that's about 2.68, huh? Alright, so HK shorts, good. G1 shorts, good. Cut off. Well, that's a good sign. Well, generally when cutoff is that good, emissions are going to be equally as good. Wow. That is very cool. Of course, I still have to deal with the damaged cabinet and corrosion and whatnot, but let's see about the life test. Well, that's pretty good considering I've only had it running for a few seconds. Alright, well, that's interesting. Let this cook for a little while as usual. Huh. Yeah, in a way I was kind of hoping it would be bad so then I could just part this set out or whatever, or just throw it into storage, but now that it's good, that is intriguing because this is a somewhat unusual set, being that it's so shallow. I mean, look how short this picture tube is. This neck is ridiculously short. And it is one of, if not Philco's last sets from 1961. Does make me wonder about these tubes, though. The previous owner didn't give me any history on this set, but that tube has gone to air, that tube has gone to air, and I haven't checked the rest, but I don't know, this thing might have just gotten kicked around a lot and the tubes lost their vacuum, I don't know. What is kind of cool, though, is that all these tubes appear to be original Philcos, and they've all got this label on them, Philco Cool Chassis. Must have coined that term. I'm not entirely sure what it means. My best guess so far, though, is that from what I can see of this picture tube, it's a 450 milliamp heater. Most tubes in the series strung sets run on 600 milliamps. Now, I don't know if these tubes actually run cooler or do they run at higher voltage and lower current, so when you calculate the power it's the same. I'm not sure, but it could be that these tubes really did run cooler than previous sets. I don't know. Alright, well, I saw one guy on Video Karma comment that, hey, maybe we'll see a Friday night restoration. Well, I cannot restore this TV in one night, that's for sure. Yes, I could possibly hunt around and try to find replacements for the two tubes that are gassy and test the rest, but for a set that's this uncommon, that has a good picture tube, I need to take my time on it. But it isn't exactly the most complicated set, and since I'm going to be working on a whole bunch of predictors, I might as well throw this into the mix as well. Because even with the damaged cabinet, it's not the end of the world, and there's probably more cabinets than there are functioning sets with good picture tubes, so I do think it's a worthy candidate of restoration, assuming everything else is still good, like the yoke and so on. But, you know, this is by far and away the most important thing. Let's see, where the heck would the flyback even be in this thing? I guess it's under here. Yeah, it must be under here, because that's where the horizontal output tube is. Must be in this box somewhere. So we got one little circuit board here, which probably has a horizontal and vertical outputs and oscillators. That's either a filter choke or the vertical output transformer. Here's the volume and the tuning thing. You know, sometimes I kind of do like these elegant analog solutions, like why have some fancy electronic, like vacuum fluorescent volume indicator, or LEDs, One you can just have a drum with a spiraling stripe on it with a backlight. Here's the tuner, and there are 2 tubes tucked up underneath here. Local oscillator and RF amp, no doubt. Over here we've got probably the brightness and vertical and horizontal hold, contrast. And this would be the IF and probably the sync separators and so on. And not a whole lot of tubes. Let's see, damper, horizontal output, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, what? Plus the CRT. There might only be 13 tubes in this set. Somewhere there must be some selenium rectifiers going off the AC power, probably hidden back in here somewhere. And there's got to be some electrolytics in here somewhere. I don't see any, but it's got to have some. Probably underneath this cover along with the flyback somewhere. Alright, it's an interesting set for sure. Oh, there's the speaker tucked back in there. Alright, it's been running a bit longer. Everything's still checking out good. Great cutoff control. Good emissions. That's really, really good life test. After 15-20 seconds, it's only dropped half a tick or so. So, yeah, apparently I've got a pretty darn good picture tube. So we'll see. I'll ask around, you know. It's still very possible somebody out there's got a cabinet looking for a new home. Alright, well, it's getting late, so I'm going to call this a wrap. Hope you guys enjoyed this look at a Philco Town Country portable TV from 1961.